game.
They're good. Yeah.
Literally with the last game and through. First pack Expendables only won one. What only played one game, so we have to see the result of this game. Yeah. No, there's 3 points.
3 points, yeah.
Yeah. So the next game coming up is going to be Kazna Crew versus first pack Expendables. Yeah. So if Kazna Crew wins, then you can draw it, and then you still all bottom 3 teams can still come up then. So again, it's hard to make predictions at this stage.
It's still quite early.
Yeah, but it's a bit too early because so many different possible things can happen that is hard to predict. So in both groups, one team is one team is for sure out or in, and then between the other 3 remaining teams, they are going to.
I predict first pad is Eagle Panda Squad is
yeah, they're kind of through, and Levy Train is already out.
Yeah.
So then in each group you have 3 teams remaining who are still playing for the second spot in the playoffs. So that all said,
saying that, yep, we can go in game.
Yeah, so we coming up with the next game in Group B. Kazna Crew against first Expendables. Teams are have picked their lineup.
Fairly fast French tank.
Yeah, we see fast lineups again. We see.
Interestingly, Faith No More is taking a tier 8 artillery.
Again, oh yeah, we saw that in the last game as well. So on the sides of first pack, we see AMX 5100, two AMX 3090s, 2 T1s, and a battered artillery. So 5 heavy tanks, 2 T1s, no fast scouts.
Yep. And
on the other team, 2 AMX 5100s, 1 AMX 3090, 2 scouts, and a Lorraine.
Now we have the movie.
Yeah, a small movie of the map, and then we'll see you in a bit. Oh, we might. Oh, there we go. I think we still in talks to why we see the map here. We see a nice overview of the middle, so this is the Abbey. Might see some action around there. This looks like hillside, and then
yep, so this is Abbey. Next we have Mines, and then lastly Oslo.
Okay, so we will starting off in the point of view of first pad. We see all the team going over to the left-hand side of every single tank. Guess that I'm going to leave 1 T1 back in base just to make sure that no cheeky thing comes around and they can just spot whatever's going to come from this side, and all the other remaining tanks just heading down to the left side of the hill and probably going to hold a position there first and see how things develop. But on the other side, when we have a look at Kazna,
interestingly, Kazna has done the exact opposite by going into the trench. I mean, they've got a couple of scouts, they've got a scout in the base, imagine a T1.
Maybe look at that T1 if he's on the same position as the other, as he saw before.
Yep, he's in that position. It's a great position because there's so many bushes there. Yeah. He can spot if anyone goes into the base. Still Mojo's down in the trench with his Lorraine artillery. But we have quite an aggressive Kazna Crew here. If they'd met the first pad team here, those two light tanks would have had a hard time.
Yeah, yeah. So but I know that there's nothing there, so they can keep on pushing forward. In the middle we have Corleone in his DK, checking out the Abbey. I like position, because if you look how he's standing there, he can properly spot the Abbey without actually being in there.
It's a good position. It's a versatile position. You can do pretty much anything and go pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, and with the entrances to the Abbey, he can also enter the Abbey from his position. He can go down, he can go around. So there's so many possibilities they can do there, and he can have quite a lot of intel as well. So pretty cool.
I imagine he has toted optics just to increase the view range.
Should do.
It's the middle of the map, so it's kind of like a lighthouse. In the middle of the map, so it's kind of like a lighthouse. You can, spot anything.
But now we see a bit of a push from first pad. Then advance to the next position. Whom is leading the fight, and yeah, all the mates right behind it. The 2 AMX 5100s and the 2 AMX 1390s. One of them looks like they're heading towards the balcony, and then the T1 is trying to check at the bottom. And I think as soon as they know there's nothing there, the battery's going to follow them.
And Nellum and Iber gone forward a bit. They're still quite safe in that position. They can still run away into the trench, but they have a couple of options. They can push into the cap. If you look at the cap, there's a little depression there where you can sit in and you can cap without being shot from the hill. And they've made the hill so much harder to shoot the cappers. That hill there.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that nice move now. I'm going to just flip over. He's just like, you don't have to go up the ramp anymore. There's 2 ramps actually up the high ground, so you can't just like different one ramp and you can't push up anymore. You come from 2 angles. That's pretty cool. Even though the angles are quite close, just as a second angle makes it a bit easier. But what do you think they're going to happen as soon as they see that first pad has pushed so far up forward? Do you think they're going to go for a cap with 2 tanks?
I think they can cap. I think I would have said before this match changed that they can't cap.
Yeah.
But they can cap now.
So I think if they see them pushing, they might put the DKs in there or something, and everything else retreats to decap the whole time because they don't have nothing back.
But Kanekaru do have a couple of heavy tanks back, a couple of AMX 100s, but quite an effective tactic. If they do get spotted, they can push to B3 and then just have the lower ground and shoot them as they try and cross into the cap. I've seen that before, and that works quite well.
So now first pad is pushing more and more towards the cap circle. First time was already spotted.
Yeah.
I guess it was the T1. So no big deal. The T1 giving away the T1 in that position doesn't mean you're going to actually commit to this push or whatever. So they can't be sure that
it does suggest. But,
you can't be sure. You just can't count on it.
I can't be sure.
So as soon now the 39s are pushing up. I think all the spots should come pretty soon.
Yeah, the AMX-90 is now spotted by.
And now I want to see. Now I see what the 2T light are going to do.
Along with the AMX-90, Goomis.
But then go to the cap now. What are the other light tanks going to do?
T1 take. Oh, that was excellent play by Pilauda. Taking that. Well, Belton, I should call him. But they put a couple of AMX 100s there, and I'm sure Stiloja gets countered. Unbelievable.
Again, is it the second time?
Yeah, you got countered again before.
You can't get countered.
Especially when they're capping.
It's like it belongs to the base. But really nice now. The way they're capping, Prelimus is he's aiming for 90 right behind the T1. So he's using T1 as the cover and just cap nice and steady. And yeah, 2 teams
Kazna are coming back.
Nice,
and they've
nice
caught these two one-pad people that passed down. They got them surrounded. I think these two AMX 100s will go down.
But it doesn't matter as long as they buy enough time. They don't have to buy time for the AMX 520 to cap. But now,
one of the AMX 100s.
VK tried to come up there.
But if Ivan is taking a lot of damage and he dies.
But it's, oh no! Prelimus reversed way too far out of the cap circle, and yeah, he lost 50 cap points just because he reversed too far.
That's a simple mistake you can make, maybe.
But on the other side, because Kazna crew was forced to push to actually stop the capping.
Yeah, they were forced. Then the AMX 100, AMX 90 got caught out in the centre and tracked.
Yeah.
So I think first pad have got this one. Still got Cobra Line.
You can do it without his VK. VK, because the VK doesn't have to reload a clip. Just drive a circle around French tank.
Exactly. I mean, all French tanks, so they're probably reloading. The batch artillery did make a few shots, so Cobra Line, he plays really well. He could do some damage, definitely.
Back it up with AMX 5100, so keep them two together. Focus down one tank, focus on the second tank, and I don't know how much HP does the AMX 5100 have left.
He's got a bit.
Oh, big gel onto the shot, 405 HP taken down.
I don't know. If it was in the open, that's always a risky trade here, but I didn't think he had that much choice, but he does go down. So.
No, it's 2 against 2. So maybe look at the MX 5100. So 560. So in total, it's like 1,000 HP against 1,200.
Both playing together as a team because these two are doing it right. They're sticking together. Because 2 against 2, it's about who wins, who's got the most HP. Yeah. And I think
at the moment, HP is pretty much. MX 39 have a bit more.
I think Pado got the
advantage on the VK have higher damage. The problem with VK is them two not focus on the VK to take him as fast as possible, and the 50 or 100 won't have a hard time to deal with them.
If you don't know, the MX-90 has 240 average damage, times 6, so that's 1,440 damage altogether. The VK's got, is it 300, 400 average damage, 350 average damage?
Yeah, something like that, 300. But now, nice move with keeping with the T1. Because now they have to push.
Force hand again, you know?
Yeah. So things are getting close now. The problem is with...
just gets spotted.
He
does minimum damage. The minimum damage of the VK, and I imagine Palermo is reloaded, but he knows he can... Oh, big mistake. Oh, he gets him.
Oh, nice.
Goomis to get a shot. If Goomis got that shot, he would have been dead.
The 5100, where's the 5100?
He's behind.
It's taking too long.
3 shots Goomis has got, and he'll go down. He'll go down.
Nice. So now it's down to Jigga. He has to get back really fast now. He has to...
We've got about 45 seconds, 50 seconds left on the cap.
If he just drops down the hills, we're going to push right to the cap circle. But he has to start moving now.
Yeah, it's dripping right down. I think it will take a bit longer in case he gets tracked. He might have his consumables ready.
We can't take a long way.
But the thing is about this side, there's no depression, so you can get spotted and shot. He is spotted.
Do you have a shot?
Well, I don't think he will. I think he's going for the safer route, but the more risky route.
So another 25 seconds.
He has quite a lot of time to be fair. I think
he has to drive uphill now. So he's going to lose speed, and he has to aim, and then he has to hit. He doesn't want to miss, and then the pressure top as well. So he has another 15 seconds. Until he gets going to have another 7 seconds, and then he has to aim and steady.
But that's a great thing about the fight.
There we go. Well, he misses. He has to reverse it. He has to reverse it. He wants to reverse. He has to use it.
He's unbelievable. He
only had one shell to hit. Oh man.
What a game.
Awesome.